Hello everyone, Alcazar here, and today we are back with the second episode of Pokemon Pisces. Last time we conquered the Ice-type gym, and today we're gonna move on to the next one. We start today's journey by going to explore the caves that we didn't have access to before, and on our way there we meet Drake once more. He then tells us that in the Cave of Origin he has found the first clue to the legendary fish Pokemon he is looking for, and after going to the cave we encounter Wallace, the previous Pokemon champion. Wallace proceeds to explain to us how the battle between Kyogre, Groudon and Rayquaza left a great impression on everyone who witnessed their battle in real life. However, as of lately, no one has seen a trace of them, and it is believed that is due to the new legendary Pokemon Shayon and Luoshan who have brought peace to the region. And although no one has seen them, legend says that if the water in the Cave of Origin turns red, it means that they are close and healthy. We then proceed to the Mangrotto Tunnel, where we find some new Pokemon to catch, like Mandimite, that looks like a regular termite, Snoutlout, which, well, you can see what he looks like even based on its name, and Nincada, which is a welcome surprise from the original games, as Shedinja can be a really powerful ally with the right ability. More deep into the tunnel, we find a secret cave, with a challenge that has us destroy 11 rocks in the room, with a limited amount of steps. Luckily for us, we get in on the first try, and it grants us the Dragon TM move Break Swipe. Afterwards, we proceed to catch an Umbrat of our own, and encounter a strange H-like creature that runs away as soon as it sees us. We keep exploring the tunnel and encounter a Seedot as well. The Seedot gives us enough experience for us to be able to evolve Sprungly into its next form, Tridaleer, which is now a Water Steel type. Then, the Yoyo twins then approach us with their Centiso and Fluffzer, which gives us the perfect chance to try out Tridaleer in action. Then we also send Quillwar, who starts with rollouts, and Tridaleer goes on with their Metal Claw. While the enemy keeps trying to boost their defense with Defense Core, we hit them with a Whirlpool that takes care of the Fluffzer, and with the last Water Gun we also take care of the Centiso and proceed to win this first battle. Our next fight in the tunnel is against Breadwinner Pando, who sends out his Coloff, which seems to be a grass type, so we go ahead and change to Quillwork, which finishes off with a Flame Charge. We then leave the tunnel and proceed to enter the Pokemon Center that's right at the exit, where we heal our Pokemon and proceed to replenish on Pokeballs. We then reach the Cosmos Bridge, where we proceed to find more Pokemon like Lumelmo, right before fighting a scientist who has a Stomaway, which does look like an alien or a creature in a rare spacesuit from that SpongeBob episode. However, he is no joke, as he takes out my Berm and almost takes out my snail friend as well. We then take out his Lumelmo and Raytake as well. Then we go ahead and capture a Leflate, which reminds me a lot of a Power Ranger or even a Gurren Lagann character, and the XP he gives us is enough for a little Berm to evolve. However, he still has not a single thought behind those eyes. We then reach a Rocket Space station, where we also catch ourselves a Harras and a Kriplin, who looks like he forgot to do its paperwork last night. We then arrive back to Sotopolu City, where we encounter a Sprite that we proceed to catch as well. After trying to retrace our steps, we find Scout Ray from the TMO zone, who starts calling us all sorts of names, and we won't stand for it, so we start a battle right away. He begins his battle by sending out a Spinda that confuses us right away with Teeter Dance. We counterattack with a Whirlpool of our own, and then finish the work with a Break Swipe. His second Pokemon is Retro Roach, so I decide to swap into Quillward only for him to be paralyzed right away. After a couple of turns, we finally manage to start hitting him with a Flame Charge, only to realize it barely does a scratch on it. So I swap into a recently evolved Muda, who should have the advantage by being part ground type. Retro Roach starts using the tech to defend himself against our Rock Tombs, but eventually we pull through and finish him. And for his last Pokemon, he sends out Goldenrock, which takes out our Muda. I send back out Tridaleer and only takes us a couple of water moves to finish it off. Ray then proceeds to be a sore loser and say every excuse in the book about why he lost to us before running away. We then find a Karate Master who is ready to take on his next challenge and tells us to let him know where we find a worthy opponent. So a few meters away, we actually find his first opponent, who happens to be a rocket ship, and right before the rocket scientist can even finish explaining about the rocket, our Karate Master shows up and challenges it to a duel. And after fighting the rocket, he proceeds to give us a new TM. I still don't know how the winner was decided though, and the scientist is just as confused as I am. However, we pay no mind to it and then proceed to start fishing for a Satsot for ourselves, right before making it to Moss Deep City. But as soon as we enter, a mysterious man takes us to Steven Stone, another former champion from Pokemon Emerald. He then tells us that he is looking for a trainer that could match the current champion level. However, he is not fully convinced that we are the right choice. and so asks us to defeat the local gym first and then come back to him. So we head out to try and find the gym. On our way we have once more an encounter with the strange egg-looking creature, who once again escapes as soon as he sees us. We then find the second gym and decide to go right for it. This gym has a puzzle where you need to press the color buttons in order to activate the tiles of the same color, which will push the statues and trainers in that direction. That leads us to a first encounter, Psychic Blank, who starts the battle with Pilium, and we decide to take him out with a couple of metal claws from our Tridalier. He then sends out Spoink and we decide to change to Left Late. However, he takes us out in a single hit as well as our kill ward. Thankfully, Snellfriend is able to finish the job, giving us the victory. Once we reach the next platform in the gym, we start hearing a voice in our head. The voice tells us to keep going and not despair against the puzzles in the gym. We then proceed to fight against the second gym member, Esper Legri, who fights us with his crippling. That faces off against our Snellfriend, who easily takes it out with a couple of steam rolls. Shortly after, we find our third encounter against the Psychic Spitzer. We choose to battle his Skullfin with our Left Late and take him out with a couple of furry cutters. He then fights back with Stomaway, taking out Leaf Late and Cutie, but our Snellfriend comes in and finishes the job once more. Finally, with a Snellfriend of his own, as his final Pokemon, he takes out our Quillwart, but is no match for Tridalier. We then face our last gym trainer before the gym leader, Snowchild, Hitomi, who has a beautiful but menaceful Lopard, that finally decides to go down after taking two of our Pokemon. And after completing the final part of the puzzle, we go off to face Little Lisa from the Psychic Gym. Now, it's funny to see that this was an original double battle in the old games, but it seems to be the only regular battle so far. However, there's nothing regular about her Lunatone, as it has Ice-type moves. Luckily for us, our Tridalier can tank them like a champ, and after a couple of metal claws, we take down Lunatone. Her final Pokemon is a Solrock, that happens to be faster than us, therefore he takes out Tridalier right away. We then follow up with Muda, in order to lower its accuracy with a bunch of Mud Slaps, and once his accuracy is lower, we swap out to Cutie, who finishes off with some furry cutters. After the battle, she explains to us that her brother is on a journey to find his place in the world. Then we receive the Serene Badge, and along with it, the ability to use Flash in dark places, along with a new TM. Finally, we decide to leave the gym and head back to Steven's house to see what he's talking about, but we will face him on in the next episode. So thank you everyone for watching, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, don't remember to like and subscribe, it really helps out with the channel a lot, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Goodbye!